Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 2139 of What's She Up To Now, documenting the journey originally as I came online from the offline brick and mortar corporate world of businesses. Spent over a quarter century in corporate America while simultaneously owning, operating, building, growing, selling, divesting myself of different businesses in like 27 different industries. So lots of offline experience. And following my divorce and getting rid of all the businesses that we had together finally, which literally took several years, I wanted to do something totally different. I'd always been curious about the internet. So I decided I was going to hop online and figure stuff out. Well, like so many other people, I fell for so many different crazy things. And I thought I had done my research and I came in a really smart way. I joined the ClickFunnels certification program, and that was my foundational framework for understanding online marketing, online businesses, etc., which was terrific. And I used it and I experimented with a lot of it. Some things worked really, really well for me. Other things I was an epic failure at and didn't pursue for reasons of my own, mainly because they didn't feel right to me. I am a very direct, pretty authentic, tell it like it is person, probably too much so according to my family and some of my friends, but that's who I am. And when it comes to marketing and spinning things and stories and things, I find it challenging to not be authentic and not tell it like it is versus spin some story for marketing purposes or to get people to do something that you want them to do. I think it's manipulative. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. It's one of the reasons I got out of and didn't pursue a journalism career, because even back then, which was a long, long time ago when I was in college, I was going to school for journalism. When I first went to college, I went to Marquette in Milwaukee, and that's great journalism school. And I was going to become a journalist. And I was like, about a semester or so into it, I'm like, yeah, this is not going to be the career for me, because although they talk about ethics and morals and truth in reporting, as you can see, the industry has definitely taken a turn for the worse when it comes to actually reporting information. It's more of a soundbite media stream, regurgitate what they found on social media, which is totally inaccurate anyway, right? And so it's just scary, the direction that industry has taken. And I'm very grateful that I did not go down that career path road. Now, there are great things that I took from that industry and that type of profession that I use today. Tools like the who, what, where, when, why, and how tool. I still use that. I use it several times this year, a lot of times in my life, because it's a great framework for getting information and getting the facts. Although I don't think journalists use it anymore. They sure did back in my day. So we're talking about in this year's annual challenge, the Get Your Goals annual challenge. This is December. We're focusing on, last month we reviewed what we've done so far, and we took a little review and check on where are we at with respect to the different areas and aspects of our life. We use a 9-part life framework to discuss and create some structure around what usually is a whole lot of chaos in our lives. If you don't have some kind of a way of looking at your life, you're just kind of going through the motions and living day to day and doing things. Some things will work, some things won't. Well, that works in my life too. Some things work and some things don't. But it's more planned and purposeful than just randomly going through and existing by using this life framework. And so today and for the rest of this week, we are using our SOAP framework, which is a framework that I actually started using and I've always had a process for dealing with challenges and setbacks and things that happen in my life. But during the pandemic in 2020, I was like, okay, obviously this isn't going to last just 2 weeks like everybody was saying. It's going to be a longer haul. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, all right, well, what am I going to do about that? And I started going through my change and challenge process and saying, okay, how am I going to show up? What am I going to do to keep myself moving through this crazy time that's so unpredictable and we have no idea what's going to happen? And I took my process and I put it in the format of something I called the SOAP framework. And SOAP is just a problem-solving decision-making tool and a way to deal with anything that comes into my life and our lives that makes sure, and I've got this installed in my subconscious. I use it consciously, but only when necessary for a bigger problem, a bigger challenge. But normally it's running in my life all the time, every day. And we all have a process like that we use. It just might not be the process that you want to use because it doesn't necessarily give you great results. Maybe your process is something changes and you freeze and you just wait and see what happens before you take any action. That's a process, and we all have one installed in our subconscious that keeps us safe, but it might not be the best for you and the life that you want to create. So that's why I created this one and use this one and teach other people this one, because I know how powerful it is to have something like this, a great process that guarantees you get the best possible results for you at the given time that you run, that you experience something, versus doing the things that a lot of us do. And I'm guilty of those things too. Procrastinating, putting things off, ignoring, hoping that it didn't happen, hoping that it doesn't happen, wishing it would go away, but it doesn't. So you're just stuck in limbo, things like that. So we are on the S of the SOAP framework today, which stands for story or situation. We can't fix something if we don't know what's actually going on. So the first part of the story and the situation is our current story. We have to identify what's actually going on right now with respect to this area or aspect of our life. So this month, we are just picking one thing, anything we want, and we're running through the SOAP framework on it. So mine is to reduce clutter and chaos and get more organized in my life, right? So I guess reducing clutter is one of the main steps I think I need to do that. So how am I going to add the SOAP framework to that? Well, I tell my current story, and I shared a couple of tools to do that. One of which is the who, what, where, when, I, and how. And I like that one because we can use it for our current story. We can also use it for our desired story. The D stands for our desired story. What do we really want? Here's what we got. What do we want? And that creates a pull between where we are and what we want, which automatically gets us thinking and moving and visualizing and taking steps like single daily action to get us what we actually desire versus what we're living right this instant. Remember, what we're experiencing right now, what results we're getting right now, are just the sum total of all of the experiences, decisions, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs we've had up to this point. And that's what we're seeing. But all we have to do in order to get different results is to change what we're looking for, what we're seeing. And as soon as we have that vision or that picture of what we want, and we remind ourselves of that versus what is, all of a sudden we're automatically being pulled to that. And of course, it takes us taking action and doing things and making decisions, etc. And that's what the rest of the SOAP framework's about. So we'll talk about that for the rest of the week. Our idiom for today was inside story. And I love this one, of course, because I wanted to be a journalist back in the day. An inside story means that it's people's personal experience and account of what actually happened. And they were personally involved in what happened. So all of us, we have different experiences and different stories. And a lot of us can witness something, and all of us will have a slightly different perspective or point of view and story about what actually happened. And I mean, that's why a good journalist interviews a whole lot of people that, number one, were involved in the actual situation and story and were key players in that and had firsthand information, primary sources, as well as observers and people that witnessed the situation from different perspectives and different times and different points of view. But that's how you get to the story, is by actually investigating and doing real journalistic work and finding out the real scoop, what happened by people that are involved. And, sometimes even people that are involved in a situation don't know exactly what happened and why it happened. Things happen really fast. Have you ever been in a car accident? If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're involved in that accident, it feels like things are going in slow motion and taking forever, and then everything stops. But it's actually usually really, really fast, like maybe 30 seconds, and then it stops. But it feels like it's drawn out and it takes a long time. And that's how we experience things. We all experience things differently. The person that's in that car accident experiences it differently than the people that observe that car accident. I don't know if that's a great example, but that's one that popped into my head. So I talked about how do you use your inside story, the inside story of your organization, to impact and help to grow and build and supersize your business. And we've got there's tons of businesses that have gotten a huge competitive advantage by sharing a part of their process or a part of their mission or a part of the reason why they do something. They get a huge advantage. There are companies, I think it's TomTom is the shoe company. Maybe is that it? I don't remember, but they donate a pair of shoes for everyone that people buy. There's a sock and underwear company that donates a pair of underwear and socks for every pair that they sell. So they've actually donated, 50 million or some outrageous amount of articles of clothing to homeless shelters. I mean, it's amazing. So that is an inside story that gains awesome credibility with their desired target audience and makes the world a better place. If you can show people how you and your business are making the world a better place, guess what? The right people will want to join and help you to do that. When we get people outside of our organization helping us to promote it and build it and share it with other people, that is the best possible scenario we can have for our business. So we talked about that. That's it. That's all I've got today. Obviously, it's Christmas time, and I love December. I've got my Christmas cup for the first time today. My sister gave, my sisters like to buy us all Christmas mugs around the holidays. I don't participate in that because I had to get rid of a whole bunch of mugs lately. And I love my coffee mugs, but I do love this one. So this is my first day with this Christmas mug, and I'm sure you'll see more of them. But tons to do around the holidays. But I think that's part of what helped me to think about the decluttering as my area for personal improvement and for the soap framework today and this week, because I'm surrounded by Christmas stuff. And I got rid of like 90% of all my physical belongings just 4 years ago. And it's amazing how much stuff I still have and that is still around me. So that might be next year's challenge. Secret. Unveil. I'm not sure yet, but that might actually be my challenge next year. My annual challenge is to figure out how do we declutter and organize each of the different areas and aspects of our life according to the life framework: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationship, contribution, communication, and confidence. And why would I want to do that according to that framework? Because that framework helps to automatically organize some of the chaos in my life. All right. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.